Hi, Kellee Waters here. Like so many things in life, having an eating disorder or disordered eating behaviour is a complicated and complex issue. It's essential to understand the different facets of your disordered eating in order to set yourself up for the lasting positive changes, and here is why. Did you know that there are over 20 different eating disorders, disordered eating behaviours, body image issues and weight issues? You heard me right, over 20. Here are just a few in each category. Eating disorders include anorexia, bulimia and binge eating disorder. Disordered eating behaviours include stress, emotional, binge and nighttime eating. Addictive behaviours include food addiction and overexercising. Weight issues include yo-yo dieting, being underweight, being overweight or obese. Body image issues include body dissatisfaction, bigorexia and body dysmorphia. The spectrum of eating disorders and disordered eating behaviours is vast. These issues can present in isolation. However, it is more common for someone like you to have a combination of issues. Across your lifespan, the combination of disorders and issues may morph, evolve and change. Let me give you a great example of a timeline of disorders and issues presenting in combination. The example is me. Of course, as you know, our stories of living with such disorders and issues are filled with lots of emotion and tumultuous emotion. But right now, I want you to listen to how my timeline of eating disorders and disordered eating behaviours started, evolved and changed in combinations. The fastest and clearest way for me to do that is to take the emotion out of the story and just state the facts within the timeline. At the age of just 18 months, I was diagnosed with food addiction and obesity. My parents were responsible for this, but they also responded and created positive changes to help me. Unfortunately, my obesity genes had already been triggered. That's how simply these things can occur. I remained obese until the age of around 10 years of age. Already, my perception of my body and myself had been negatively impacted, resulting in my body image issues. I disliked my body and I had mild dysmorphia. I saw myself as bigger than I truly was for the majority of my life. Throughout high school, I would restrict intake, meaning I would go most of the day without eating and then binge when I got home. Back then, I didn't know this was unhealthy or an issue, but it was, and remains very common among teenagers. When I first moved out of home, I became overweight and my diet was far from healthy. I would have episodes of binging when no one was home. This is known as sneaking and hiding food. At the age of 24, I was a professional competitive Latin dancer, which meant hours of training every day, both on the dance floor and outside it. Then 3 major losses occurred in my life within 3 months. I used food restriction to control my emotions and increase my exercise to help me cope with the chaos. This pushed me into anorexia and overexercising. There was a period when I suffered from combined anorexia, bulimia and overexercising. After recovering from anorexia, all of the following issues existed in my life to varying degrees for a period of 4 to 5 years. Overexercising, bulimia, binge eating, restrictive dieting, weight loss followed by weight gain, and vice versa. Emotional and stress eating, severe body dissatisfaction, and objectification, which means I'd pull my body pieces apart. From the age of 34 to 36, I hit rock bottom with a combination of binge eating disorder, food addiction, and obesity. My journey through life had already been deeply affected by the wide spectrum of disordered eating behaviours and eating disorders. From binging to restricting, over-exercising, to practically giving up on myself. My disorders had come full circle, returning me to where it all started. This is my story and my truth. I choose to share my story with you to help you. I hope my story helps you understand a little more about how complex and complicated this space really is. I felt so alone and felt like I couldn't tell anyone, as I was so ashamed. I also didn't feel like anyone would really understand it. I felt like I would only be judged. You might feel alone right here, right now. Guess what? You're not. If you suffer, then hopefully it will help you to see that you are not alone. Your struggles in the past and present are much more common than you think. However, it is one of the most misunderstood and misdiagnosed areas of medicine, and most people do not receive the appropriate treatment. If the medical world misunderstands it, imagine how easy it is for you to misunderstand it. You need to realise that it is challenging for you and the people around you to understand this as well. Your disorders or behaviours are a symptom of other things, such as life experiences, traumas, beliefs, mindsets, coping behaviours, and so much more. What needs to be understood and treated is the why and what behind the disorders and behaviours. If you would like to find and connect with people who understand you and what you are going through, or just a place to finally start your journey to a healthier and happier you, then come and join our private Facebook group, Free Your Mind. This is a safe and respectful community to share your stories and gain support from people who have similar experiences. I wish I had access to a community like this when I was feeling lost and alone. The link is below. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my story. I look forward to seeing you in the group and hearing your stories. You never know, your story might inspire the next person to start their journey to finding balance, health, and happiness.